Okay, so my case scenario is Julie has become a rebellious teenager ever since summer started. She just graduated high school last month and considers herself to be a well matured adult now that she is 18 and a graduate. Her brother Josh, who is 14 years old, has become scared to talk to Julie because he feels like she is always in a bad mood. Their parents, Dave and Rebecca, are feeling like they are at their wits' end with how to handle Julie. They used to have such a positive home environment, but now they are always on the lookout to make sure Julie isn't sneaking in late after being out past curfew, or that she isn't being mean to her brother. Julie feels as if Josh has always been considered the favorite child, and that she might as well go ahead and give up on ever trying to earn her parents' approval. The reason that the family is seeking therapy is because last week Julie was told that she wasn't allowed to go to a music festival with Matt, who she graduated with. But then when the day came, she had told her family that she was just going to spend the day finding a job around town. And then later on, her brother Josh ended up seeing a picture from a mutual friend posted on Instagram, and Julie was in the background at the music festival. Josh showed his parents this picture, and now Julie is grounded and furious with her parents, and especially Josh. Their family used to have religious involvement, but have been avoiding church due to the reputation that Julie has created in their small hometown. This has also caused distance in some relationships that the family had built throughout the town. Let's see, Julie has also been showing signs of depression within the past month, and Dave and Rebecca don't know how to help her with that. They believe that it might have stemmed from a recent breakup before she had graduated, and that this is why she's seeking more attention from Matt. They figured they have gotten to the point where counseling seems to be their only option in hopes for figuring out the best way to mend their family. Okay. Okay, so the family is not this family, just in general. The family is known as being the most influential factor for the development of a person. With that being said, I have chosen to use family systems theory for this family. This theory continues to expand as more social workers continue to use it with their clients. It focuses on the structure of the family. For example, every family has very clear set rules, like not being out past curfew. And then there are unspoken rules that each family has, such as cleaning up after yourself, brushing your teeth, taking the trash out. These are just to name a few. Family systems theory is known for providing the interventions needed for families. These interventions demand action to take place immediately, which I believe will be beneficial for Dave and Rebecca to learn how to better help their family rather than waiting. It'll also help with being more inclusive and involved with Julie in hopes that her rebellious spirit will change once she realizes that her parents really do care equally for her and Josh. No favoritism involved with that. With this immediate action, the social worker is able to address the signs of depression being shown by Julie, which is something that shouldn't be ignored. And this is a time to talk with her about what is causing the depression and allows her to voice the feelings that have been contained inside of her for the past few months. Dave and Rebecca would need to listen to her intently and ask questions to allow for further discussion on how Julie would like her parents to help her with these feelings. And also in family systems theory, there are a few major concepts that are important to remember when meeting with a family. The first one that would work well with Dave and Rebecca is assigning someone as the executive authority and making sure that person remains in that role. Dave would fit well in this role, which would establish clearer boundaries in the home. Julie would still be able to contribute her thoughts, but Dave would always have the final say. This is not to promote a place of fear, but rather form the necessary respect needed in a family. Another concept is boundaries. It's important that Dave and Rebecca have clearly established boundaries in their family. This can help to make sure that the family doesn't kick it into high gear immediately and then spend every waking moment together, but rather that they understand that when a night is dedicated to having a meal together as a family, everyone participates in it. This is in hopes that good conversations will form, as well as unity. With these boundaries comes the responsibility of everyone knowing the rules and their own roles. If there are rules that are not set in place, then these so-called rules will seem unnecessary and ignored, causing disagreements and division to occur. As the social worker continues to meet with the family, roles can be assessed and evaluated. According to research, it is recommended that the family discuss what they believe the role of each person is in that family, or in the home, and then find out if that person agrees with that role. If so, then that assigned role can always be used to figure out more clarity in the role in order to remove any confusion. And if there's not agreement, then the social worker can use this as a time to discuss with the family what each assigned role needs to be, depending on the needs of the family. There are also many more concepts that can be applied to this family when using the family systems approach. These are just a few that would work well for this specific situation. Research also shows that multiple variables affect the system, hence why it's crucial for the social worker to view the relationships that the client has, and in this case looking at the relationship of the family and how that affects the way that Julie acts. When there's a change in one component, for instance in Julie, the other components that make up the system, for example her parents and her brother, are affected as well, hence why Josh is afraid to be around his sister, and David and Rebecca are at a loss on how to parent Julie. Research also shows that in order for change to occur in this family, in the long run, there will need to be lower anxiety present in the household. This doesn't just include in their current household situation, but also looking at the extended family as well. So that way, all that ends up influencing Julie. And then when someone also responds in anger, it is important that the family doesn't react in the same way, but instead uses that as a time to be sensitive to his or her feelings, to show the individual that they are willing to listen. Also, when one member of the family has a concern with another member, research says that it needs to be addressed immediately. This can increase the safe environment that a home needs to have, while also promoting trust and value in the person's words. After the social worker finishes the multiple sessions with Dave, Rebecca, Julie, and Josh, it is crucial for them to not dwell on these past situations, but to continue to grow in the desire of having hope for their future as a family. They can use this hope in order to not continue to bring up the past, which would cause arguments in the long run. So it's important that they just use what they've learned using the family systems theory with the one-on-one work with their social worker to figure out the best way to overcome the different issues and figure out what the root of the problem is for each one of them. That's all.